What I'd like to do is bring in Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson. He's in New York tonight outside of the accused killer's office building in Manhattan. Great to see you tonight, Matt. Before we get to Manhattan and what's happening there and what you're uncovering and investigating there tonight, let's talk about what happened earlier today when you were in Massapequa, in the neighborhood, at the house. You spoke with Asa. You spoke with the, I guess at this point would be a estranged wife. She's filed for divorce. What happened? Explain to us. Take us there.
Well, we were there, Vinny, as we are each and every day. We were knocking on doors. We were trying to talk to neighbors, talking to true crime fans that come there and also take pictures. And then at one point, I noticed that she came out of her house. We've seen her out front before. She's waved to our cameras. She was out with the dog. And then we struck up a conversation. She started talking to me. We talked about the coverage. She was telling me that for the most part, she feels victimized in all of this because she and her family thought that there was nothing wrong in their lives. She has been married to the person that she loves for 25 years. He's an architect. They were living in Long Island. She thought that nothing was wrong, and then her life was shattered a couple weeks back when he was arrested, accused of being the Long Island serial killer. I pulled out my phone and I recorded part of our conversation. Take a listen. How are you holding up? I know you can't talk about the case. How are you holding up?
What you see, right? It is what it is.
How's your children doing?
I'm not going to go for that one. Not going there.
Have you spoken to your husband?
And I'm not going there either. That's already been, his lawyer has already answered that question.
How are you getting through the day with media and with all the questions? I know it must be tough.
Moment by moment, not hour by hour, moment by moment.
That's Asa Ellerup right there. She says that her life turned upside down. She has since, as you mentioned, filed for divorce 1 week after the charges. And I tried to ask her, how did you meet your husband? How are the kids doing? I also asked her if she's visited him or called him. She said that she wouldn't answer any of those questions. She referred me to her attorney. But remember, earlier this week, on Tuesday, when Heuermann was in court afterwards, his attorney addressed their relationship. Take a listen.
Do you know if he's had any contact with his family?
Sure, he's had contact with his wife, yes.
In what way?
And family members. I don't think she's visited yet, obviously, because she doesn't want to be ambushed by the press. So she hasn't visited him at the jail yet, no.
So despite filing for divorce, according to Heuermann's attorneys, she does call him and she does stay in contact, Vinny.
A couple things struck me from the video you showed us. First, she still has to walk the dog, right? I mean, you still have to live your life. So you got to take the dog out like everyone else has to take the dog out. Yeah, my husband's an accused serial killer, but, you know, we still got to wake up, walk the dog, do everything we do. And then when you asked her about the children, just that exhale that she had, to me, spoke volumes and answered the question about how difficult it's been for the children, all of this. And we understand that, obviously. Now, you're at the house, and I understand that you're able to walk up on the porch of the house?
Right, you know, she's out there and we were speaking for quite some time together, and I mentioned to her, I said, what is that note on the door, on the front door? And she said, oh, well, it's about contacting my attorney and all this and that. And I said, well, can I see it? And she said, sure. So she invited me on her property. She allowed me to walk up the driveway and to go see that note on the door. And we have video of that. I shot it on my cell phone as well. So I'm walking up the driveway and I'm noticing quite a few things. Again, the house in need of repairs. The garage door looked like it couldn't close. There was a handmade bench there that looked like it was some woodworking. There was a lot of split wood, and neighbors have told us that Heuermann would be out in the front yard and splitting wood. And I make my way up to the porch. She sits out there with her son, often with the dog. She was drinking coffee earlier, and someone had left a card. Other people have dropped off groceries. You can see flowers up there at the porch area as well. And then there's that note that says, any media or law enforcement, I found that interesting. Any law enforcement, please contact my attorneys. And then she had their information up there, Vinny.
Striking, absolutely striking, but amazingly nice is what is the vibe I'm getting. And you know, you're there, you're speaking with her, but what I'm seeing and hearing, the back and forth, someone could be very bitter, someone could be really angry, someone could be really nasty, and that's not the vibe I'm getting from this woman. I mean, she strikes me as someone who seems very nice.
Think about it. Right, very nice. Sure, everyone has their moods and their ups and downs when they're going through trauma like this. There's no doubt about it that it's traumatizing for everybody associated with this case in all aspects of it, the victim's families, her family. But for the most part, she was very nice and very understanding that we have a job to do. And she appreciated us for being respectful, and that's why she allowed us on her property. But again, keep in mind, she has also gone through hours and hours of interviews with police, law enforcement, and that's what helped them piece together the fact that now prosecutors allege that these crimes that her husband is accused of happened when she and her children were out of town.
Wow. Wow. Okay. You're in the neighborhood. Did you speak with folks in the neighborhood today?
Yeah, there was a lot of people milling about. I have to tell you, it is a busybody neighborhood, but in the best way. I mean, everyone is super friendly. It's a blue-collar neighborhood right there in Long Island. A lot of welcome signs in front of the doors. I can't stress it enough. And I saw this lady walk up to the house before I talked to Asa, and she walked right up to the front door, and she left a card. So we noticed that, and then I spoke with her afterwards. Her name is Rosemary, and I said, what was it that made you come to the house, and what did you leave behind? Take a listen.
Gift cards for them for food, and I know what they're going through. It's probably struggling, and I know they had a hard time, and it's not their fault. It's not their, you know, so I was just trying to help out. You know, we have Massapequa Park is a very knit, tight community. If everybody's in trouble, anybody in trouble, they help out. He kept quiet to himself. He was a very quiet man, never said anything, or even my brother knows him from school, and he just said he kept to himself, and he was a very quiet man.
You know, it is a quiet neighborhood. A lot of people were talking to us, asking us if we needed anything when we've been out there each and every day during our investigation and our talking to people. She is a special ed teacher, and that's what I mean. Like, this neighborhood is full of teachers and retired law enforcement, other retirees. This house was owned by Rex Heuermann's mother. He purchased it from her, so you can get an idea. But there is a big contrast from his house. Keep in mind, he's an architect here on 5th Avenue, and his house is a bit run down with the porch being held up by 2x4s. Compare that to every other house in the neighborhood. They've been built up. They added dormers. They have American flags out front, and then those welcome signs. So there's a big contrast between the properties. Vinny?
Huge contrast. We're looking at the video right now.